I remember one day when I went to my uncle and aunt's house just to check out this NES lot that my uncle retrieved from his mother's attic. I saw many great games there, such as Super Mario 3, Final Fantasy, Blaze of Steel, and a ton of other classics that I would love to have in my collection. He refused to sell any of the games to me, sadly, which I was really sad to hear. Although, it was a great time just to hang out with my aunt and uncle once again, and to hang out with my younger cousin. Although, when I was about to leave, there was one game that he was willing to sell to me, and that was Wayne's World for the NES. Now, it has been a few months since the transaction with me and my uncle with this game, and I had no time whatsoever just to even play this game. So now is the time for me to see if this game is as bad as what my uncle says, because he says that this is one of the worst games that he has ever played. It could be actually good, but at the same time, this is a licensed game, so it's a pretty high chance of it being terrible. I'm not even sure about the answer, so let's put this game inside the NES and find out what we're gonna see.
When we boot up the game, the first thing we see is this cutscene that introduces you to Wayne and Garth, which they basically ramble on with completely pointless and random things. In fact, all over this entire game, they just talk about some random pointless stuff through these cutscenes that make me think that there is no story at all and the developers were rushed and just made as much random shit as possible from the movie. And my god, let's not forget about the horrific digitized graphics that make the characters look like glowing aliens. Besides all that crap, we then enter the first level, and immediately you see that the graphics are terrible and looks like a fully colored color book that a kid drew in. In later levels, the graphics look a bit different, but it still looks shit with the very ugly colors in the background. Garth also looks completely white, and the developers should have at least colored him a bit. The enemy designs are awful and completely random, and even though I haven't seen the movie yet, I really don't think there would be drums with legs trying to kill me.
How original, am I right? What's next? Flying TV screens trying to kill you as well? Come on, developers. If the enemy designs are so weird in this game, then I could think of anything, and it would possibly be in this game.
Music can also be a pain to listen to because it's awful and repetitive. Now all that matters now is the gameplay. Sure, graphics, enemy design, and the music are awful, but for a game to be good in my opinion is with the actual gameplay, and all I'm gonna say is that it's awful too. First of all, you play as Garth, and then as Wayne, per part of the level. You mostly do this for the first 2 levels, and then there is 1 level for the specific character for the other 2 levels. And there are 5 levels total, making this game very short. Like I said before, we first play as Garth, who has a laser weapon that is very weak, but does the job okay. Plus, having to push the B button all the time just to kill an enemy really hurts my fingers after a while. Wayne, on the other hand, is far worse since he has this very awful kick. The kick move is a bit stronger, however, but it is extremely hard to hit enemies and impossible to hit enemies in the air. Sometimes the hit detection is completely off on Wayne's kick, even if it looks like you are hitting the enemy. Both characters make you constantly push the B button the entire time, which gets really annoying. But I recommend you use an NES Advantage or a Max controller, since that will make the game a bit easier. Both Wayne and Garth control the same though, but it is such a pain to control them since it's so stiff. Although after playing this game for a long time for this review, I have gotten used to the awful controls, but it can still be a problem in certain areas. The level design is very simplistic with no variety at all. All you do in these levels is walk to the end and that's it, with the occasional platforming parts in some areas, which can be a pain to go through sometimes. Going through level 1 is easy, but another problem I would like to address about the characters is that they get too close to the edge of the screen, making the enemies pop up immediately, and will possibly hit you if you're unaware of them coming. Halfway on Wayne's part of the first level, you see this P item, which is a power-up of both Wayne and Garth. Although they are very obscure and a few of the levels don't even have these power-ups. They don't do much other than give both characters some health and an upgrade for the specific character. Wayne has this awful spinning kick that is still hard to hit enemies, but is more powerful than the regular kick and is still an improvement. Garth, however, can shoot 2 beams of lasers instead of 1, which does help a lot. Once we get to the end of the level, we go against a boss that is just a tower of records trying to kill ya. Once when you kill it, you head into a bonus level where you can retrieve as many donuts as possible, which can heal ya. They look like eyeballs instead of donuts, but whatever heals me works with me, I guess. This is basically the only way to get more health other than the obscure power-ups. And you go into this bonus stage whenever you beat a level. Level 2 has a very easy part with Garth, which is completely worthless. And then Wayne has to go through these platforms with these guys on them. And I always feel like I'm forced to get hit by them due to stiff control, and that they take a huge part of the platform. Overall, the first 2 levels are quite easy, but the 3rd level spikes the difficulty for no reason since these ninjas pop out immediately and will hit you if you aren't expecting it. I mostly just stop and move a bit just so it will be easier to avoid them. There is also these black cats that always have a power-up waiting for you when you kill them, making this the only level in the game with an unlimited amount of power-ups, which is great in my opinion since it helps a lot with these goddamn ninjas. The end of the level has this pink ninja that turns into a shuriken for some reason, although he is really easy to kill. The 4th level is probably the bane of my existence since it's just so difficult. First of all, there are these flying TV screens that will chase you down until you either die or if you kill them. I shouldn't have spoken too soon when I said that there will be flying TV screens trying to kill me, since all the enemies in this game are so weird, but now there is actual flying TV screens trying to kill me in this goddamn game. Because Wayne's kick is so awful, I'm forced to get hit once or maybe even multiple times just to kill them. After going through that part of the level, there's these awful spiders that are near impossible to hit. You're able to duck and kick at least, but the hit detection barely works. Plus, don't forget about the stupid platforming parts, which takes 2/3 of this level. Okay, almost finished. I have no more lives, very little health. So close to make it to the end.
Thank goodness that part was over.
No way.
What? How was I supposed to know that there would be a light bulb dropping on me the first second I tried to take a breath? Sure, it was my fault for not pausing the game, but still! By the way, no continues in this game at all, so if you lose all your lives, it's game over, which is bullshit.
No extra lives either, which makes me even more pissed that they wouldn't add extra lives in the game just so you would have a better chance to beat it. What you have from the start is what you get, folks. I got back to level 4 multiple times just to attempt to beat it, and I fail every time. I even had all the lives the game gives you with full health prepared on my first try to beat this abomination and proceed to the final level. But even then, I had such a huge trouble in doing so. It even led me to the point to just give up, and that's what I did. I might as well mention about the SNES, Genesis, and Game Boy versions of this game, but I don't have a copy of any of those. But I did see some gameplay footage of the SNES and Genesis versions, and they are completely different from their NES counterparts. The Game Boy port is pretty much the same as the NES version, only that the levels look different. But after playing this awful game, I'm afraid to even play any of them. Maybe in the future, though. Overall, it's like 90% of all the other licensed NES games, but it's way worse than many of them in my opinion. With very stiff control, bad music, bad graphics, bad enemy design and placement, unfair deaths, unfair difficulty, and a ton of other awful things. This is probably one of the worst NES games I have ever played so far. And all that I just explained isn't my biggest complaint. The worst part is the actual price of this game. I mean, good God, this is just horrendous. Who would buy this awfulness for the price like this? I'm just glad I got it for cheap from my uncle, which I really thank him for this game.
At this point, I am basically just done with this game. I don't want to play again, nor even look at it again. And I don't even recommend any of you to even play this game since it's just so bad. Now that I'm done with this video, now I can just move on with my life and actually play a game that is good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'm the Retro Kid, signing out for the first time.